implies that herding did not exist before GFC, and significant herding over the whole cycle period may be the result of the high level of herding after the global financial. Oh, you should now say, thank God, last night has come. I know, your patience, 40 minutes is more than sufficient. The results suggest that herding exists in both Indian and Chinese markets. Herding in Chinese market more pronounced than that of Indian stock markets. The herding is more significant during extreme market conditions in both the markets. The difference is in one market it's more in up market conditions, in another market it's more in the down market conditions. Higher herding view is found when the market is falling in the Chinese stock markets. In Indian market, again, why it happens? Because most of these players are quite raw, quite infants. They entered the market 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Vis-a-vis some of Indian individual investors, they are old champions. They are in the market for the last 25 years, 30 years, and so on and so forth. Am I right? For 40 years. So higher herding is found when the market is falling in Chinese market. Indian is better for herding going to the top markets. So level of herding is greater when trading volume is high, or to some extent understandable in the Chinese markets. In contrast, the level of herding in Indian market is unrelated to the size of trading volume. Come what might, it doesn't matter. The magnitude of herding in each market seems to be affected by the size of stocks. Like it's not symmetrical, different size of stocks, they react differently. More open market, higher ratio of institutional investors may contribute to less significant herding in the markets. Yes, these two are also reasons that why it's less in Indian market. Any question? I mean, if it's a hard one, I'll pass on to Dr. RP Singh. If it's an easy one, I can reply. Yes, please.
Do you think, if I am talking about India, do you think that India fund manager has a more pressure to invest in bullish market and to less invest in bearish market? It is true in Indian context.
It's true, it's true everywhere. When the market is bullish, every investor, as a fund investor or hedge fund or mutual fund or even individual investor, he would like to say, meditate while in sunshine. But if it's in a time period of bullish market, assuming the bullish market stays for 4 to 5 months, at what time he enters? Whether the very first month, second month, third month, fourth month. And with what volume is entering the market? A smart investor might enter the second month with huge volume. He will keep on entering but with the less investment. That's how these hedge funds enter the market. Would you like to listen to your classmates? Yes. Say no. Yes, please.
Sir, as a being investor, I can just understand the fundamental and technical. But in our share market, 60 to 70% money is all about FII. Then how can I just understand what will be the next step of FII to as an investor?
Good question. I mean, FI is the one who enters the market, and market obviously has got strong positive expectations, and they are the one to desert the market absolutely at the time when they think the market will down. Look at big players. One thing is you never think to compete with them. Right? They are absolutely big players. Second issue is with all the data available, if you want to mimic them. Right? Not exactly, they are not going to tell you where they are buying, but still their way outs, you can make it out in which stocks they are buying. And you can obviously create your own portfolio to mimic their strategy. They won't tell exactly, but still there are enough ways these days to make it out where they are.
I have a question that, yes, whenever budget has come in India, whenever budget has come in India, I have seen in nearly 6-7 years, not past 6-7 in 10 years recently, I got 6-7 years, market always falls. The main reason is like the budget expectations or anything, sir?
Budget expectations. Normally, it's what it calls an event study. It's a good question. Budget is a major event for an economy, for its financial segment, for its capital segment, capital market segment, even for its political status. Budget is one of the key driver of the economy. May not be 40 years ago, 50 years ago. At that time, there used to be a accord of maybe harmony amongst with the countries and all that. But for the last 20 years, the politics of a country is driven by the economics. So budget has become an absolutely significant factor. So 8 to 10 years is, if you see the data, it's a very small time period. Because 8 years means what? Only 8 observations. Right? So on the basis of just 8 observations, we cannot say next year also, a day before budget market will go down. It's hard. This is said in US markets. What they've done is, they were much larger data. They started 1852, 1854 till 2004, 2003. They collected this time period, and what they've done, they've taken all those years in which a president in US has to be elected. Right? And 1 year before the president election, every time market has gone up. Upwards. A year before the president election, every time from 1850s to say 2003 or 4, something like that, market has gone up. Yes, political scenarios are there. I mean, political stability, political instability are very important in stock markets.
I have a question.
Sure.
So as a retail investor, I mean, hoarding is one easy way out. If the market is going up, you start investing. If the market is going down, you start taking out your money. But for a retail investor, what is the right methodology to study the market and then invest? I mean, how should I, for example, I want to invest in stock market and gain from it. So what should I be doing? How should I be studying it?
Sure. It's a very good question, and often this question is being asked to me. That if I'm a naive investor, where I go, I remember I saw a case in Malaysia also, the people do ask this sort of question. My answer is, had I known this, I would have been the last person to deliver a lecture here. Second thing is, we academics generally believe in theories. We understand those theories. We try to interpret those theories. We are not speculators. It's not our job. Okay, these are 500 stocks. Pick the rosy one, cherry picking, do the cherry picking, and then invest, and then disinvest, or whatever it is. To be honest, this is not our job. You know? And if at all, today I'll give you 7 stocks to invest, and you put your, let's say, money, whatever your portfolio is, and after 1 year, all these 7 stocks has given you roughly 15 to 25% return, say on average 20% return. And you say, oh, Harminder's given what a fantastic tip, you know, my portfolio has gone up by 22% in 1 year. Right? It might be absolutely a fluke. It might be. Right? I'm not saying it is fluke. It might be absolutely fluke. It's very hard, you know. Everybody thinks that I can beat the market.
No, but there must be some techniques,
Sure.
some safe methods to invest.
Absolutely. Fundamental analysis is the one thing. Always believe in fundamental analysis. You know, think about the economy in which you are investing. Think about the industry in which you are investing. Think about the company in which you are investing. Then have a look on the past 10 to last 10 years. And these days, we've got so many sources where we can go to the history of the stock market, the value companies, and then certain basic ratios. Have a look at the EPS ratio. Have a look at the PE ratio. Have a look at the trends. Right? But don't indulge in the technical analysis. Don't indulge what others are saying. Believe in your own instinct. By reading newspapers, by
companies like Morgan Stanley can receive you. Even then, companies like Morgan Stanley can receive you.
no, that's the beauty of the market. That's the beauty of the market. The best way to earn money, not to invest in stock market. Thank you.